Hello BookTube, it's Peg at the History Shelf. I thought I would make a video even though I'm a day late to it. I've been noticing everyone on BookTube seems to be very diligent about putting out a Friday Reads video, and that's a BookTube-ism that I haven't been able to really master yet. But I am going to claim an excuse this time around. Yesterday and Friday I was sick, so I wasn't making any videos last night. Feeling much better today. I made a video earlier for the top 10 nonfiction book tag, and just got back from a baby shower, so thank goodness I was well enough to go. So I'm hoping this trend continues, knock on wood. My video won't be real long as far as Friday Reads go on a Saturday, because many of the books that I'm reading, I've mentioned to you before, I'm still reading them because they're huge. So let's see, I'm reading Margaret Thatcher, Volume 3, the final volume in the Charles Moore trilogy on her life. Hang on, I'm starting to get a little tickle again in my throat. Got some strawberry bubbly here. It's very good. But I did start a new, and I finished reading The Reality Game, which I wrote a review for, and it's up right now on Open Letters Review. I can link that below. And you know, he's always looking for more reviewers, so if you feel like there's something out there you can write a review for, thought I'd throw that out there as well. But I'm reading another book that Steve sent me. I just started it, that I will also write a review for at Open Letters. And this is Revolutionary Brothers, Thomas Jefferson, the Marquis de Lafayette, and the Friendship That Helped Forge Two Nations by Tom Chapin. Making some really good headway. I'm like 70 pages in, and just started it the other day. Just kind of a nice, it's not a full biography of each man, obviously. You know, it would be massive if it were. But it kind of takes starting points for each guy, and it shows how they cross paths. And then, you know, I'm only 70 pages in, so I haven't seen where, you know, how the the forging of the two nations come in. But you can see the parallels between them already, as far as their you know, the fathers and how they looked up to their fathers, and you know, some similarities. So I just started that, and I'm enjoying it. For an online book club that I just joined on the Criminal Element, which is a site for, I forget where it's associated from, but I won a prize, you guys. I never win a prize. They had 25 free copies for this novel that came out before, but it's a re-release in a Minotaur Signature Edition. And they said, you know, just leave a comment below, and if maybe you'll win a free copy of this novel, and you can join our book club discussion. So I was like, well, what the heck, right? I won a free copy of The Tourist by Olin Steinhauer. So it's kind of like a spy espionage novel. It's in a new edition, as you can see, the new Minotaur Signature Edition. Comes highly blurbed by Stephen King, who says, here's the best spy novel I've ever read that wasn't written by John le Carré. So go figure. So I just started that. It's about, The Tourist is about the CIA. Tourist in CIA nomenclature is an undercover agent with no home and no identity. So it's about Milo Weaver, and yep, and he's been a tourist, and there's a bunch of shady spy-y stuff going on. Spy-y. I just made up a word. So, The Tourist is like another novel I've added to my list of things to kind of dip into a little bit. So that's a new Friday Reads on a Saturday. So in addition to Margaret Thatcher, I've got the Revolutionary Brothers, and I've got The Tourist. I'm also working through White Nights by Anne Cleves. I just thought I'd show this real quick. I came back from this baby shower, and my brother-in-law had forgotten he had another part to his Christmas gift for me, which was, this thing right here, this History Shelf mascot. Let me get it right. Let me get it. There we go. He made that. He's an amazing woodcarver. Apparently, he had another Christmas gift for me, and this was waiting for me out on the bench, on our porch bench outside, because I wasn't here earlier. And he didn't even know this, but I've been wanting to get some books in this series. This is Osprey puts this out. This is the Osprey combat series, where they break down different soldiers on different sides of different wars, and it compares them side to side. And this one is, and he knows I'm a Civil War nut. Union infantrymen versus Confederate infantrymen, Eastern Theater, 1861 to 65. So, yeah, pretty dope, huh? I came home to this nice surprise. I love this kind of stuff. I own a bunch of Osprey campaigns. Many of you who are into military history and know a lot about the different... they're very slim, obviously. They kind of... let's see if you can see these. You see these up here, these campaign ones and stuff? I have a ton of these, and they're outstanding. They have campaigns, essential histories. These are the names of the different series that they make. And I've got some on, like, Thermopylae, Plataea, the Battle of Salamis, and a bunch of others. But they're cool. They're just very brief overviews. But in this one, it really is just showing you, it breaks it down by, like, the military kit that the soldiers would have, what differed on each side, the weaponry, uniforms. So this is the combat series, and they have a bunch of different combat ones that I've been wanting to get. Here's a few examples in the combat series. Like, you can see, well, I've been wanting Roman soldier and Germanic warrior versus Germanic warrior. British infantryman versus Zulu warrior looks really interesting. Then you have French guardsman versus Russian Jaeger. They have a ton. So this is my first official, though, combat version. And I'm excited to have it. So thank you, Dave. You are great. Let's see. So I'm trying to think of what else I can show you real quick. Again, I'm just trying to get back into the groove. I was making videos, and then I just came down with a cough. Sorry, I just got messaged. Whoopsie. And yeah, but then I seem to rebound today, but I need to take it easy tonight, and make sure I'm not going to fall back into any sickness. Now, I was around a bunch of people today. I made sure I was very far away from people, and I was washing my hands a lot. I was very careful around what I was picking, like food off the trays, you know. There were some children there, and I'm convinced that, I'm convinced that children made me sick the first time back in December, but it could have been anyone. Yeah, anyway, so these are some of the Friday reads I have, and I'm glad to show you. Oh, I might as well show you another new arrival that I got. There's a book that I'm going to be reviewing, just a very short review. I think it's with the Historical Novel Society. And they're like 300-word reviews or whatever, but I just put a bunch down. I said, well, you know, like maybe one of these would be cool, and if you need someone, and they said, here's this book, and it's called The Deep, and it's by this author called Alma Katsu. Never heard of her, but the book itself looked interesting. Is like a historical fiction based around happenings of the Titanic, and then they throwing in maybe a little bit of spookiness or supernatural. So I'm like, that could be a fun read, and I love historical fiction. So so then I'm like, well, I got selected, and they're like, yeah, we'll send you the book, and I was like, great. So that won't be for a couple more months, but she's already has another novel out, and I didn't realize it, and it was she was nominated for a bunch of awards. It was hugely blurbed. It was a suspense magazine book of the year, best book of the year, an NPR best horror novel, and a Bram Stoker Award finalist. Now, I do enjoy reading a good horror novel from time to time. I mean, there was a time when I was reading a ton of Stephen King when I was growing up. I just devoured his novels, just paperbacks, just went through them. And I love good horror movies. I'm a horror film aficionado, fanatic. Um, there's something about it. I don't know. It intrigues me. Again, I'll say, I've said it before, and I'll say it again on this channel. I don't like slashers. I mean, if they're campy and cheesy, they can be funny. But I don't like torture porn. I don't like Saw. I don't like Hostel. I don't like anything. That's, to me, is just disturbing and gross and stomach turning. But horror and scariness and ghosty stuff, I'm down with. So, anyway, so I looked up this first novel of hers, right? And it's called The Hunger. And I thought, oh, it's got to be about vampires or something like that. No, you guys, it's even. Oh, as soon as I read what this was about, immediately had to buy it. This is. Check this out. This is called The Hunger. And as you can see, Stephen King says it's deeply, deeply disturbing. Okay? Alma Katsu. I've never heard of this author, but I'm about to. Evil is invisible, and it is everywhere. That is the only way to explain the series of misfortunes that have plagued the wagon train known as the Donner Party. Now you guys. I've just one of the books I shared for best reads of 2019 was a history on the Donner Party, and I just was getting into the Donner Party stuff. And this book came out in March of last year, and I read the Best Land Under Heaven in December of last year, very close to 2019. That's why I included it. But this book flew under my radar completely. So anyway, this is about the Donner Party, and there's something extremely scary about it. And hang on a second. Oh, God. Sorry. I got a little interrupted. There's always something in this household. But The Hunger, you guys, and this is depleted rations, bitter quarrels, and the mysterious death of a little boy have driven the isolated travelers to the brink of madness. Though they dream of what awaits them in the West, long-buried secrets begin to emerge, and the dissent among them escalates to the point of murder and chaos. As members of the group begin to disappear, the survivors start to wonder if there really is something disturbing and hungry waiting for them in the mountains, and whether the evil that has unfolded around them may have in fact been growing within them all along. And tons of blurbs. Again, I don't know how this book flew under my radar, but it did. I got this for $8 on Amazon, and I thought it would be good for me to maybe just plow right through this and get a taste for the writer's style, and then see when I read her new book coming out, The Deep, how that stacks up. But kind of like research, kind of like, that. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm starting to get a little, my throat's starting to get a little, you know what I mean. Anyway, I gotta wrap this one up, you guys. But anyway, that's my Friday reads on a, on a Saturday night. Let me know what you think about any of these books. Of course, I'm happy to talk about them. I'll make some more videos tomorrow. Well, maybe at least one more. And hopefully a bookshelf tour at that. So, you guys have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, BookTube.